Brought to you by...
Walk while you have the light, before darkness overtakes you. Whoever walks in the dark does not know where they are going. Hello friends, welcome back for another ETF short film review. 2 months after Carl Stefano's killing spree was brought to its bloody end in the sleepy town of Longview, Massachusetts, an estranged husband and wife struggle to reconcile after the disappearance of their daughter 2 years beforehand. Until a discovery, buried in their backyard, causes their worst fears to crawl forth from beneath the surface, forcing them to realize that some things should just stay buried. Dug from the Depths by writer-director James D. Lamond, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. Under the banner of It Came from the 508 Productions, we are presented with a strong visual presentation that paints a unique depiction of the concept of the vampire. One that almost completely does away with the standard conventions associated with the subject matter that we are all familiar with. Lamond makes use of some strong and striking visuals throughout this film that are captured in mostly engaging ways by his cinematographer Paul A. Turgeon. As an example, he utilizes the imagery of the cross in a very unique way that not only adds a fresh take on the element, playing on the idea that the symbolism of the shape is what holds its power, but at the same time brings a flair to the otherwise average concept and echoes shades of Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness at the same time. The film chooses a completely practical effects route, which warmed my heart, as I'm sure it will all of yours. It presents each moment of gore with a subdued strategy, showing each effect on screen minimally, which I personally felt helped in strengthening its impact. This choice makes you yearn to see more, and hope that the next effect will show off more than the last. While there aren't many over the course of the film, I felt that each was satisfying in its own regard. Like all films, this one is not without its problems. During the opening moments, as our protagonists are discovering the box, it becomes obvious that the sequence was entirely ADR, likely due to the close proximity to the highway, which we see in the background. An understandable and obvious choice, likely due to restrictions in shooting locations. However, I do feel that this brought down the performances throughout the scene, as whatever energy and depth were delivered on the day was lost in trying to recreate it, which I can't stress enough is no fault of the filmmakers or the talent. Unfortunately, these things happen with heavy ADR. Otherwise, each of the actors delivered their parts well, though I have to say the friend attempting the whole vampire slayer strike felt slightly out of left field to me, but I think it's forgivable given that it fits his slightly comical character traits, while adding a slightly Fright Night element to the story. The standout for me being our protagonist, played by Dan Bouchard, who made a strong effort to deliver emotional pain that evolves steadily throughout the duration of the story, and I think he pulls it off quite well. This is a film structured around its mystery element, the age-old question of what's in the box. However, Lamond builds enough suspense and intrigue in the early moments of the narrative that once we are told what is inside, the plot doesn't lose its luster. Instead, he shifts our intrigue from the question of what the box contains to who will be the one to open it, and more importantly, when do we get to see it? Personally, that is what has made this film well done in my opinion. While many might have let the luster fade and driven us to a climax based solely on that initial question, Lamond held a firm grasp of his visual presentation and drew out the suspense enough to keep us wanting more, in turn leading us to a well-built and earned climax. Personally, I thought that the effort put into creating something unique here is what makes it worth a watch for those who enjoy a good indie production. I can honestly say that this film takes chances with the concepts that it is toying with, and constructs something fresh out of the mainstay vampire lore. It includes elements that beg further answers, such as what was the purpose of those jars in the box, and better yet, what will happen now that she has been unleashed? Who knows, maybe in the future we will find out. For now, I'm giving The Box a B+. Honestly, the only thing I might have changed about this film, barring a few technical difficulties, would be the pacing of its edits. I probably would have shaved off a few things to help quicken it up a bit and crunch down that runtime, but that's just me. I understand that drawing it out a little may have been exactly what they were going for here. If this sounds like your cup of tea, then you can get your hands on a copy of the Blu-ray over at itcamefromthe508.com, which I've linked down below, alongside a link to their official Facebook page where you can follow along with all of their upcoming events and releases. From what I've seen so far, this is an organization that isn't afraid to take a few chances in an effort to tell stories that aren't as cookie cutter as what most are tossing out into the world these days. So I hope you all show them your support and check this film out. If you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to let me know. It's just a quick scroll down there to that comment section below. If you're enjoying the channel more than words can describe, shoot me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. If you'd like to show your support even more, come find ETF on Patreon or Tippy, where every pledge and every tip brings you rewards galore. Not to mention allowing me to bring you more films to explore. But all jokes and rhymes aside, if you have any films that you would like me to check out, or that you might like to see reviewed on this channel, feel free to reach out to me here down in the comments, or over on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.